Draw this shape on your paper. It is a rectangle. Do you see any lines or line segments in this rectangle? Well, I see 4 line segments. I see one going from here to here, and one going from here to here, and one here to here, and one from here to here. So let's label these so that way we can name them. So I'm going to put A, B, C, D. And if I said, I want you to list all the line segments for this rectangle, you could go like this. So remember, when you write the line segments, you're going to do like this because it has an end and a beginning. So I'm going to write AB, and there's one that's BD, and there's one that's, I could call it CD or DC, and then there's one that's AC. Okay, notice I didn't draw arrows on there or anything because they had a beginning and an end point. So I have 4 line segments. So how many line segments do you think there would be on a square or a rhombus? 4, because they also have 4 sides. Okay, we talked about angles earlier. Remember, angles are made of 2 rays. So if I wanted to make some angles on this shape, I would definitely have to have something going on from a point. So if I said, well, here we go. I would like to make an angle out of this. It's got to have a ray at 2 rays to make an angle. So if I was going to call this angle a name, I could call it CAB or BAC. You definitely want to keep the point where they meet in the middle when you're labeling it. So that's how I would label that as an angle. Okay. So, okay, so let's look at another figure. This one down here is probably something you've seen before. It's a kite. Okay, so let's look at this kite and see, let's label some of the line segments in it so we can work with it. So I'm going to label this one A, and this one B, and this one C, and this one I'm going to label D. Okay, so right now, let's see, there's lots of points. There's so many points, it's going to be hard to count. So let's look, let's label these. These are all going to be our points that we're going to work with right now. Okay, so how about segments and angles? Do we see any? Let's see. Segments or line segments are just part of a line. So we could say there's a line segment AB here, or there's a line segment BC. I have a line segment here from D to C. I have a line segment here from A to D. I have a line segment here from B to D. Okay, so that's how I would do my line segments. And notice I put a beginning and an end point. So like if I wanted to make a, let's see, how about if we extend AB, let's extend AB in a direction like that and put, so it has this end point and it's going to keep on going that way. So now it's a ray. So if I was going to write that down, I could do a line with an arrow and I would call it AB, just like that. Okay, if I extended another one, or like if I just needed a line, I could do, I'm going to label this point E so we see how it's a line and it's going in either direction because those arrows are telling me that. And then if I was to label it, I'd put my arrows like that and I would say this is line EC or CE. Okay, so let's kind of look at some of these vocabulary terms that we just talked about because that's a lot of information. So let me erase this and let's look at some different ones and see if we can tell. So let's start with this. What is that? We call that a point. Okay, remember a point is just like the exact spot of something. Okay. What is this one? That's an angle. Remember, an angle is 2 rays. So we have two rays, and they have to be connected at one end point. Okay. Let's see. What's this one? It only has an arrow in one direction, so that's a ray. So it has one end point, but it keeps going. In one direction. Okay, so then what's this one right here? I see two dots, so this one must be a line segment. Remember, a line segment has a start and a finish, a beginning and end point. Okay, and then how about, let's see, this one right here. See the arrows on either end? That tells me that it's going on forever in either direction, so it must be a line. So this one goes on forever in either direction. Okay. We also talked about a term called an arc. An arc is just how you label. Like if this were A, B, C, I would draw that symbol and then I would do A, B, C to label my angle, right? Okay, so looking carefully at all these terms, could you think about how is a ray and a line kind of similar? Well, let's see. They both have at least one way that they're going on forever, but a ray only has an end point and goes on forever. A line goes on forever in either direction. How is a line segment different from a line? Remember, a line segment has a beginning and ending, and a line goes on forever and ever in either direction. Okay, so that is our lesson about our points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles.